Hello friends, welcome to Cook to Nourish. Today we are going to see how to make Asian style baked salmon. So I have here fresh ginger and fresh garlic finely chopped, a tablespoon of each. I like to really use fresh ginger and fresh garlic in this recipe. 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. You can also substitute tamari if you're not paleo or keto or whole30. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, half a teaspoon of sea salt, and finally the spiciness from 1 teaspoon of red Kashmiri chili powder or any red chili powder. Now if you don't have that, you could use hot sauce, but make sure it's compliant. Then I had 1 teaspoon of maple syrup for a slight sweetness. You can avoid that if you're strict whole30 or keto. Alright, so after adding all of this, just stir it nicely and then finally add a tablespoon of olive oil, and that's your marinade. That's it actually. That's all you need for making this extremely tasty baked salmon. Now we're just going to bake this in a tray. So I've lined it with aluminum foil. I'm also preheating my oven to 400 degrees right now, and then just kind of lightly brush the aluminum foil with oil. And now I had been thawing my salmon, right? So taken it out of the plastic package and let it thaw for about 30 to 40 minutes at room temperature. And then I'm making sure that all the water is kind of the extra water that comes from the ice, make sure that you dry it off. And then using a knife you can make like slight cuts, superficial cuts, like not very deep, just slight cuts on it, because each piece of salmon is so thick. If you want the marinade to seep in, you can kind of do this extra step. It's again optional. If you don't want to do it, then you can avoid this step, but I like to do it because in that way the marinade seeps in all the way through. So I mean, meaning not entirely all the way through, but still it's able to go inside the meat a little bit. And then finally you just kind of spoon the marinade over the fish fillet, and just kind of make sure that you spread it around nicely so that every part of the fish, even the sides, get coated with the marinade. Alternatively, you could kind of just dump all the fish fillet pieces into the bowl and then with your hands kind of rub it nicely. But since there's a lot of chili in this recipe, I don't really like to mess my hands, and this way it's pretty clean, as well as it's still good. You're able to get, as long as you're able to coat the fish nicely with all the marinade. There'll be some extra marinade on the which will flow onto the foil, and that's fine, that's okay. And we are now going to put this into the oven, which is at 400 degrees. So we have to bake it for about 18 to 20 minutes until the top feels like it's all the rawness kind of goes away from the top. You can come to know when you look at it. So it should look like this, where the red chili powder looks as if it's cooked. And see, it's nice and soft. So it's the top, it's a little bit crisp, but it's still flaky on the inside. And now, important step, you need to cover it with foil and serve it warm. Hope you like this recipe, and please visit cooktonourish.com for more recipes. Thank you.